Hi, today we're talking about saunas and my first experiments into the sauna lifestyle, shall we say. This is a LifePro tent sauna with a fire burning stove. I got this 7 months ago now, on a Black Friday sale. It was $600. The price of these things varies. Even this LifePro goes up and down. There are also other brands that look pretty similar, called Sweat Tent and Kaifi, but they're all basically, a 6x6x6 tent made of some kind of thermal resistant insulating material with no floor and this cute little fire burning stove. You place them outside, you fire up the stove, you wait for it to get hot. The stones in the stove get hot, heat the air inside the sauna, and you're good to go. I got free delivery from Amazon, so it was included in the price. And like anything that you're unfamiliar with, there's a little bit of a learning curve. There's a learning curve on how to set the tent up, though the tent itself sets up very easily. You just push out the sides, it kind of pops up. It's not like building a tent for camping. Though the very first time I set it up on the beach, and by the time I came back the next day, it had blown away, even though I'd weighted it down. So you do need very thorough attachments. After that, I moved it to our balcony so I could keep an eye on it, and I weighted it down. I both attached it to the guardrail with the hooks that come with it, and then I weighted it down with 6 sandbags. I got this in November and I had a couple of great saunas, but then Vermont winter set in and this thing got covered in snow. And once it was sort of both covered in snow and the air outside was really chilly, it struggled to get above 110. Now, sauna aficionados say that you need 200 for it to really work. Though 200 is too hot for me. I think 150, 160 Fahrenheit is plenty to get very sweaty, to spend 10 minutes in, 5 minutes out, cold plunge if you want to, go back in for another 10 minutes and repeat that 2 or 3 or 4 times, depending on your comfort level, how cold it is, how sore you are, how much sauna you want. So all through the winter, I just had cardboard and a tarpaulin on the floor, and I think it was being... there was too many heat leaks for this thing to really get up to spec. So then I invested in some foam jigsaw mats on the deck underneath, which are exactly, 2 feet each. So 9 of them make a 6x6 square. And this immediately improved the temperature by 20 degrees. I was able to get it up to that 130, 140, 150 range that I liked. The benefits of the sauna are incredible. I get a 10 more points on my Oura Ring sleep score if I sauna that night. And it doesn't seem to matter how long I go. If I do at least 15 minutes, like 2 8-minute sessions, I seem to get the same effect as if I do 3 5-minute sessions. I definitely get more benefit from the saunaing when I'm tired, when I've just done jiu-jitsu or I've worked out that day. And I really think the benefit of the sauna is essentially because it gives you exercise, makes you sweat like you do when you exercise, but without the wear and tear on your body. It pushes your body to, exert itself just to keep cool, and you sweat and you clean out your body, you elevate your heart rate, you elevate your temperature, but you don't have any of the joint wear, the muscle wear, all the other things that are byproducts of exercise. So in that sense, I think sauna is fantastic. And this, for $600 as opposed to $6,000 for a barrel sauna or a 2-person insulated sauna, plus another $4,000 or $5,000 in electrical work to connect it to the house. So you're looking at this is a $600 setup plus $10 worth of wood every month versus a $10,000 setup. You get a big chunk of the benefits, though it does come with some disadvantages. I have friends who have the outside electrical saunas. They come home tired, or even that they just preset the sauna to turn on at a time. When they get home, they get in the sauna. With a wood-fired sauna, you need to go outside in the freezing cold, start the fire, stoke it, get it going, go back in 10 minutes later, feed it more wood, go back in 10 minutes later, feed it more wood, wait another 20 minutes for it to get hot. Hopefully the wood you've used is dry enough and the fire doesn't go out. It takes some finessing. There is both a learning curve to building the fire, maintaining the fire, knowing how much you can get away with. And it's also a lot of work to do those things. It's engaging. That can be good. I do love building fires, and building this tiny little fire in the sauna is a lot more efficient than building a big fire in my living room. But when you most need the sauna, and I've come home from jiu-jitsu and I'm like, my arms are sore, my legs are sore, my neck is sore. That is when I'm the least likely to want to spend the half hour to 45 minutes getting the sauna ready. If I had an app on my phone, I could just turn it on while I was driving home, get home and get straight in the sauna. I would use it more often, but I would probably appreciate it a little bit less. When I first started saunaing, I would bring my phone in with me, maybe iPad. I would read in there while it got hot. This can be a slippery slope because you end up, rather than doing what you should be in a sauna, which is reflecting, relaxing, you're doing more of the work you did all day. Even if it's, social media or whatever, you're not taking the time to downshift, to relax, to absorb, to be present, that a sauna really should be about. So I've loved this thing that really has made a difference to my life. I think as far as a $600 investment, it's hard to see something else that I've spent money on that's had this much return. And it has made me think about an electrical sauna, a full install, spending the, $7,000 or $8,000 or $9,000 to get a sauna hooked up, because, especially in the winter, because that's when you really want to get warm, and that's when it's hardest to get a little wood sauna like this up to speed. The other two small issues I've had are the wind still blowing the sauna around. When it gets above 20, 30 miles an hour, right? I'm right on the lake, so I do get, kind of gale force winds, maybe 10 times a year. When that happens, it blows the sauna around, even if it's weighted down. And that makes the chimney move and kind of start to bend, and it's not great. The other thing is snow. When I get, maybe half a foot of snow, it collapses the roof in, and that then causes snow to get inside, and it gets damp. I solved the second problem by putting a stand inside the sauna when I wasn't using it, to kind of help support the extra weight. And then when I came home, or when I first saw that it was covered in snow, I would go outside and brush the snow off. But a couple things to be conscious of if this is the path you want to go down. The tent sauna from LifePro, a very interesting experiment, and one that has been really beneficial. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.